Yo, what's up, Diamond Family? It's your man Vivi. I'm back with another tutorial for you. I hope all of y'all are doing great out there. Look, every Monday I'm going to be dropping videos for you guys, just dropping off some gems, letting you know what I'm working on, try to answer some questions you have, and we're going to learn and grow together. So today I got a really special video for you. We're just going to go over like 3 quick tips that I use every day in Pro Tools that speed up my workflow, help me to record better, and help my mixes come out better. So all of these things are going to be done before you even get an artist in front of the booth. So these are more setup things that are really just going to make tracking and recording your session so much easier. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it. Now, working the way we do now, a lot of beats you get are going to be ripped offline, or best, a lot of times you're going to get just an MP3. If you get stems, you get a WAV file, man, count yourself lucky, right? So we're working with an MP3. And simple as this, when you drag in an MP3, there's always going to be just this little tiny, like half a second worth of dead space at the beginning of the file, right? You see this? I'm going to zoom in a little bit closer. I'm just dragging it to the front. And you can see there's this dead space right here, right? So if you're using Pro Tools, all you have to do is hit Tab, which is going to basically move your cursor to the next transient. And as long as you have this A to Z box checked right here, if you press A, it'll automatically delete that little bit of dead space at the beginning. Now you can just drag your beat to the front and go ahead and set your tempo. So I like to listen to a part of the track where the drums are already in, right here, and you just tap in your tempo. Okay, bet. So I'm getting 164 when I tap it in, and that's your second tip. If you click right here where the number or the tempo is, if you click that and tap the T key, it'll actually go along with your beat, and you can tap in the beat of the song. I'm going to show you why that's important in 1 minute. So let's see. We set the tempo to 164 is what we were able to tap in, and if you zoom in closely, you can see that the transients fall right on the bar. Now the great thing about this is, say your artist just hits a crazy bar and it's the end of their verse, right? You want to do a quick drop. All you have to do is highlight the area you want to take out, hit backspace, and it's gone. Really cool stuff, right? Really easy stuff to do. But it's important that you set your tempo first, because if you don't, you can't do those quick, easy little cuts. You can't go ahead and do a quick drop like that and it takes you 2 seconds. So tab to transient is vital. Second is tap to tempo. Once you got your tempo set globally, which means for the entire session, everything else is going to fall in line. So your delays are already going to be timed to the right beat because your tempo is already set. You see how we have the sync button clicked? The sync means that it's going to lock into the tempo of your global session, which means that when you do a delay throw, you do an echo, it's actually going to be on the beat that it's supposed to be on, rather than, off of the beat of the music. So we're going to do tab to transient first. Then we're going to tap in our tempo using the T key. And the third thing we're going to do is trim, right? So we're going to tab, we're going to tap, and then we're going to trim. The trimming is basically turning the track down, right? When we get these songs off YouTube or MP3 or whatever, it's already mastered. It's already maxed. They've already taken all of the headroom out. The 808s are going crazy. There's no more space for a vocal, and so we have to try to create some. The first thing some people would do is grab this volume fader right here on the beat channel, which isn't necessarily the right way to do it. You'll perceive the track as lower, but it'll still be being sent to your master fader or to your mix bus at full volume, which means you're still combating all of the volume issues that you had. The next thing that you can do is clip gain it. Clip gain works because it just turns the track down and you can visually see it go down. My issue with the clip gain is this: if you need to export stems or you need to change anything, the beat is going to be permanently lowered because you clip gained it. So if I have to send these stems to somebody else, they're getting it in the way that I wanted it to be rather than from a fresh start. So I like to use the trim plugin to turn the volume down, just because it's a plugin. So if I consolidate all of my files and send stems, none of these plugins are going to affect what's going on. So they might send it to a mixing engineer that would do something different to the beat than I did. So I like to give them the file as raw as possible. So I like to use the trim plugin, but as you'll see, I have a VMR before the trim plugin, and I'm going to tell you why. So some beats, let me rephrase that. Most beats need to be turned down, right? I'm going to say probably 90 to 95% of the beats need to be turned down. but a lot of those that need to be turned down are simply out of balance, which means there's too much low end, or maybe the high end is poking out too much. There's something in the beat that can be turned down first before we turn the overall beat down. So generally working in hip hop, rap, trap, urban music, that thing is going to be the bass, right? We love bass. We want it knocking. We want it booming at all times. But the issue is, the people that are making the beats a lot of times are using headphones, or using speakers or rooms that aren't really treated or ready for mixing. And so it sounds great to them. It's boomy, it's loud and everything, but the balance is generally off. And so what I like to use is a plugin from Isotope, and it's called Tonal Balance Control. So you load up this plugin and you play your track, right? So this is actually showing you kind of the balance of the track. At this point, we can see it's mostly bass, right? Let's go to the fine adjustment. It's mostly low register. Now wait for the beat to drop. Okay, that's not the drop, but it's coming. So let's hear the beat drop. So you can see it balances a little bit better. I'm going to turn the beat down a little. You can see that it balances a little bit better, but still, if we go back to the broad strokes, you can see the low end is what's kind of permeating everything, and the bass line isn't really going in. Remember, at the beginning we had this bass line that was just kind of booming through the whole thing, right? So let's try and roll off a little bit of this low end first, and then we can probably trim it down a little bit less, so we'll keep a lot more of the punch of the kick, a lot more of the smack of the snare, and a lot more of the, really cut of the hi-hats. So let's try to, like I said, use the VMR. We're going to use maybe the SSL EQ to roll off some low end and see if we can kind of get the trim in a better position. So let's try that. So this SSL EQ, we're just going to do a roll off up to about 30 hertz because most people's speakers aren't even reproducing anything that low. And then let's go back to our tonal balance real quick because I want to see really where we start to get a buildup of low frequencies. So you can kind of see everything really kind of from this area down. We've got a little bit more than we need. So let's go ahead and try to roll off. I'm going to guess it's around 80. So let's try to take about 3 dB on a shelf at 80. Let's go down to about 80. Let's say 81. That's fine. And we'll go 3 dB down. And see, 3 dB it's a significant enough move to make a difference in the overall volume of the track, but it's not enough bass removed for us to feel like we lost some bass. Our ears will adjust very quickly, and honestly, if you listen to a lot of your favorite songs, there's a lot more perceived bass than there is actual low end. And we'll talk about that in another video, how to really perceive more low end than what's actually there. But let's listen. I'm going to take this, I'm going to turn the beat back up so I won't be talking over it. I'll turn the beat back up to where we had it. You can kind of hear the difference with the EQ engaged and with it out. Let's hear it. One more time, let's play that back. So here's what I'm also going to do. Let me throw a meter at the end of this, and I'm just using the free Uline loudness meter so we can see how the loudness changes as well. Right. So you see, it gave us a little more room. And I'm a big believer of trying to get the track as loud as possible before we do any mixing or mastering, just because I feel like it's going to be easier to keep it loud. So those are my 3 tips, man. You want to tab, you want to tap, you want to trim. The 3 T's, man. 3 T's of Pro Tools. What else can I say? It's your man Vivi. Man, drop me a line below if you need a mix or a master, or if you got any questions about anything I went over or anything you'd like to see. Shoot me an email. Like I said, I'll be back every Monday with new gems for you. Let's make diamonds, baby. Peace.